today's book is this one. It's Robert Harris, The Second Sleep. Okay, and you can see that it's a worldwide #1 bestseller. Robert Harris is a well-known writer, and I thought, yeah, I quite fancy this book. And it starts off with a priest called Christopher Fairfax, who is wandering along with, I can't quite remember if it's a mule or a donkey, in Exmoor, on his way to a village where the priest has died, and he's been sent to find out what the circumstances of that death were. And as you start reading it, you think you're in medieval England. You know, the picture is painted, and that's how you strongly feel this is medieval England. And you wait for the story to unfold, and then gradually over time you begin to realise that, oh, is it really medieval England? Something really weird going on. It's clearly a society that's very religious, that is held to account by the church, that lives under rules of curfew at night, and they have this weird thing where they go to bed and then they wake up again and then they have a second sleep. And gradually you begin to realise that although it's a medieval structure, this is actually a modern world, and that at some time in the past, you're not quite sure when, that's not really clear, there's been an event that's called a cataclysm. And that could have been a pandemic or some kind of war or something which caused society to break down totally. So a very apt book at this time actually to read. And this has led to a society that's very medieval in its structures. It's medieval in the way that it's run by the church. It's medieval in that people are dying of illnesses that they haven't died from for years and years. And therefore you think, well, what's happened here? And there's a bit of an adventure that Christopher Fairfax goes on to find out about the circumstances of the death of the priest that he's investigating to report back to his bishop. So yeah, it's an intricate story, it's very detailed, it's evocative of the mood. A lot of it is set around Exmoor, so if you know that area, you'll get a strong sense of moorland and of being remote and of being in difficulty. But for me, I just found that the story was, it kind of ended in a damp squib way. It was like it never got resolved. You got a glimpse of what had happened, but not a true picture. You felt like it was one and there were going to be other stories coming from it, but I don't think there are. So I was left feeling a bit deflated by this particular book. If you like Robert Harris, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's obviously skillfully written, but for me the story just lacked a bit of punch, it lacked a bit of oomph, and I just ended up feeling quite, is that it? What's going to happen next? Do we even know? There was no resolution, if you like. There was no, it was really, the message was that overall that the modern world is awful, and everything about the modern world is awful, and it's led us to a place of destruction which will take us back in time. And I find that a really negative perception of the world. Of course there are really bad things happening, but there are also really good things and wonderful things and things that give us hope. There isn't much hope in this book. Not that maybe I need to read it again, maybe I'm being a bit too downhearted. Stephen King seems to like it, he's quoted on the back, but for me, yeah, it was a bit meh.
That's it for this week. Please subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications.